I'm visiting my late wife. And it takes nothing away from, that love for you to continue to live. And even though I didn't want to hear in that moment, it kind of planted the seed for me. It's just like, okay, he's remarried and he's been happily married, and here he is at the cemetery still visiting his late wife. And so it planted that seed in the back of my head that, okay, it is possible to move forward while acknowledging your past.
Mm-hmm. It makes sense. I can understand why it would be so hard to do when you love somebody like that. But maybe that's why the vows of marriage, they always say till death do us part, that there's a reason for that.
And especially when you're a young wife or a young spouse, you don't really focus on, you think about in sickness and in health, but I don't think we really focus on till death do us part. It just seems like, oh, that's something that happens way down the line. And if I'm lucky, he'll pass, and then a couple hours later, I'll pass too, You don't think that it could be the next week.
Those happy couples.
Exactly. The couple, they're like 99. If they're 99 and they both just kind of go off to sleep, you think that that's going to be your happily ever after.
The Notebook.
Exactly.
That movie kills me. I want to welcome callers to call in 866-826-1340, 866-826-1340, and join our discussion if you have any discussions or to talk about grief and loss, how you've coped with it, how you've gotten through it, not just a spouse, but a loved one, parent, child, friend, anything. It's time for us to just talk about the hard stuff in a positive way and to make it easier and be a support for each other. So 866-826-1340. And do you see that man at the cemetery? Obviously, his wife is there. And
no, it's so odd. I've never seen him ever again. But to this day, whenever I go visit my husband at the cemetery, I always look over at the marker for his wife just to see if he's since passed. But I've never seen him again. And he was just, I didn't realize it at the time, but he was just such a huge part of my healing, just letting me know. And then for a while, I was really angry about, that they misdiagnosed my husband, that they said it was the flu. And as I was sharing that with him, he started telling me about, like, his wife was also misdiagnosed, and it was nice to be able to talk to someone and just kind of let out some of that anger. And even though I was still angry for a while after, just kind of thinking about him and reflecting, I was able to just kind of let some of that go. So he was such an instrumental part of my healing.
Yeah, it's funny how people come in our lives and kind of set an example or, guide us on a different path. And we don't even realize they're coming. It's like almost like
exactly,
destiny.
And you might not even be in the frame of mind to receive it right then and there. But it's almost just like it just kind of gets planted in your brain, and
right.
then you look back and revisit it.
Yeah, I have so much more to add to that. It's time for our break, Kerry, and we're going to go through some coping skills and other things about grief and loss and how to handle things that are struggling and instant loss, especially, leaves such a gap in our heart. But it's time for our break, and we'll be back with Moments of Clarity in just a moment. Please stay tuned.
You're listening to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner. We welcome your input at 866-826-1340. Tiffany will be right back after this.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
If you are like most people, you worry with the financial challenges you face today. How do you protect your family from financial ruin? How will you reduce your liabilities and get out of debt sooner? And how can you deal effectively with the constant changes in your job, your career, and your business? Overcoming your financial challenges is like building a house. You must build from the ground up. You must learn how to make more money, save more money, grow your money, and protect your money. Forever Forward Financial specializes in teaching you these 4 basic money skills so you can achieve your dreams and end your worry. Call us today and schedule your complimentary, no-obligation meeting to discuss your needs and concerns. Call Scott Bigley at 727-422-7761.
Hi, this is Tiffany Werner, your host of Moments of Clarity. Living with a mental health disorder is not easy. If you or someone you know are struggling with this, Please know it's so important to seek treatment, and I'm here to help. Please visit the website at momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com to view blog posts and resources on this site to help educate and inspire you to take action, because there's no shame in seeking help for mental health. While you're there, please take a few seconds to sign up for my email list. You'll get some extremely valuable educational and entertaining content that can be sent right to your inbox each week. Plus, you'll also get instant and free access to my guide on managing your anxiety. You can also follow me on Twitter at MOC with Tiffany and at Facebook at Tiffany Warner. And once again, the website is momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com. Thank you so much for your support and for listening to your show, because change can only come when we stand together as one.
Are you looking for a great book? If you like to root for the underdog, Joe Potosi's book is a book for you. A real American odyssey that will grab your attention with its fast-moving narrative. You won't be able to put this masterpiece down. When the Dust Settled by Joe Potosi. Go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or Zulin Press.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
We are back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Warner. To join in the discussion, call 866-826-1340. Now, here's Tiffany Warner.
Hi, thanks for listening and welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is Moments of Clarity. I'm Tiffany Warner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor and I'm your host. Today we're talking about grief and loss, and my guest was a young widow and lost her spouse a year after their wedding anniversary, and by a mosquito bite, malaria. And sometimes the worst things are the things that we don't expect. And I want to welcome back to Moments of Clarity, Kerry Phillips.
Hi.
And hi, Kerry. And you've done some fabulous things to help others in your situation, and I really commend you on that. And I look forward to sharing that with the audience. While we're on break, we have a caller. Patrick. And welcome to Moments of Clarity, Patrick. Thanks for calling in.
Hello, Tiffany and Kerry. How are you doing today?
Hi.
Oh, hi, Patrick.
So, I recently had a friend who his wife went missing, and then she ended up being found deceased out here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, last week. So I guess my question is like, how can I support him? Because I don't, it caught all of us by surprise. I haven't talked to him for a while, but I reached out to him and told him, if he needed a place to stay, he could stay with me. But, moving forward, I think the funeral's this weekend, and I feel I'm kind of lost. Like, do I need to call him, or do I wait for him to reach out? Or I just, this took us all by surprise, and it's just a bad scene. So can you kind of give me some suggestions or a way to, help him get through this?
So wait, Patrick, what happened? Your friend, his wife went missing and then was found dead? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, she was found. So she came out here for a business meeting in Fort Lauderdale. And then all of a sudden I seen a post saying that his wife was missing. Then he came out here to Fort Lauderdale and was searching for her, and, had the authorities and the dogs come out, nothing. And I talked to him and I was like, hey man, I said, I posted it on Facebook, I'm reaching out to a few people I know out here. And then, he set up a search party last Saturday, and they found her in a lake behind her hotel. It's still under investigation, but, it's, it caught all of us by surprise. And I just, I guess, being the group that we worked together for a long time, and we're friends, but, it's hard with guys. We don't really share our feelings that much. So it's hard for me to figure out how to navigate this area. So I was hoping Kerry could, give me some suggestions on how I can help my friend deal with his grief.
That's a good question. I'm so sorry
I think it's
for
so
your friend.
commendable. Yeah, Patrick, I'm also in the Fort Lauderdale area, so I have been following that case, and I'm so sorry to hear about your friend's loss. I know how devastating that is. I think one of the first, it seems like you're actually taking the first step. It's not avoiding. Like, I know that it's really uncomfortable, and, death's not really something like, it's not, we don't talk about it over coffee, and it's really hard, and especially, guy to guy. So I think the most important thing is just letting him know that, you're there for him. And oftentimes I find that people will say, oh, well, call me if you need me. Maybe it's our grief. Maybe it's not wanting to feel like a burden. We hardly ever reach out to those kind of, just call if you need. So I think it's important to, be specific, what can I do for you? It might be sitting with him. It might be, helping him to make calls. I'm not sure if they have children. It could be, it could be carpooling. It could be, sending gift cards for food. I think I often say that grief's not a moo-moo. It's not like a one-size-fits-all. Like, my church wanted to bring over food. I wanted to be alone. So I think it's important to just ask the person, how can I be there for you? As the first step, and not put it on them to say, hey, if you need something, just reach out to me. Because more than likely we aren't going to reach out.
Especially I've lost quite a few people in my life too. And as I'm thinking, and it hasn't been a spouse or a relationship person, but parents and family, when it was the hardest is when the shock and the numb wears off, the feeling, the numbness. And then everyone forgets about it kind of, or just moves on with their life, but we can't, and that's when I think I needed my friends the most, is when,
oh, absolutely,
when people tended to, month or 2 or 3 months after, when people just kind of go on with themselves, and then you're still, grieving and hurting the most. And that's when I think for me, I stopped pushing people away so much and wanted to be around people that understood. But it wasn't
exactly.
right away.
And
Go ahead.
And also, if the first time he says, I'm okay right now, I think it's also, as Tiffany mentioned, to just kind of keep checking in. Don't be offended if at the moment they don't want to be, around other people, or they reject the help. It's important to just kind of keep checking in and not kind of forget the person. Because, even though it may seem like, he's going on with his life and, a lot of times you're like, oh, well, you seem so happy. I thought you were over it. Like, there's no getting over it. So I think, in the months post-loss, that it's important to continue to check in with him and be there for him in whichever way he feels is important.
Especially with guys, and I hate to say this, like, not to sound like sexist or anything, but guys will pretend things are okay when they're not, more than females. Girls are more like most, generally. Girls
I can
are
co-sign for that.
What?
I said I can co-sign for that one.
But I mean, it's just true. I mean, it's hard for guys to be like, you know what, it's been really hard, but women will be more likely to be like, I need a friend right now, and let's watch a movie and open some wine and cry. I don't know, something like that. But guys just, don't usually. I mean, not that I'm aware of, at least. I mean, it's not typical, I just say. Right.
Well, and there are also some great resources online for the widowed community. It might be something as simple as, you may not, be ready for this right now, but I just wanted to share this with you, just kind of tuck it away in your back pocket. They're great organizations. There's Storing Spirits. There's GriefNet. So it might just be sharing encouraging articles. Just tuck this away for future reference. That might be helpful, because when you're kind of drowning, you don't realize that there's all this support out there. You just kind of feel like you feel alone in it. And so just kind of having that encouragement that there's other people, unfortunately going through that, but I think there's healing in seeing how other people navigate. So it might just be sharing an encouraging article, about from a widower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I'd wait a minute for that. Not while it's
not like a dating, but just kind of resources. Just FYI, just was thinking about you, and he may not need it right then and there, but as he moves through his grief, it's good to know that these things are out there.
I would assume in that situation, he's probably more concerned of what happened right the second, and then once all that comes out, then grieving and mourning, then that's when the resources probably would be most helpful. I mean, empathetically trying to put myself in that position, I'd be beside myself. Like, what happened to my loved one? What happened? Like, what did they go through?
See, and that's that's where I was like, I didn't really know what to say to him, because I didn't want to be like, hey, because he's already, sitting there talking with the police, like, what happened? Tell me the details, because I'm sure he's probably gone over it a million times, and I was
Right.
like, I'm sure he
Yeah,
doesn't.
no,